Hello, my name is Dr. Jordan Mochocki, and welcome to Strategic Management and Problem Solving for Supervisors and Manager. This is you're taking me on an online class or a face-to-face class, and this is a quick overview of what we've already discussed either in our forums or in our lectures. So this is a lot of information on here. Remember, it's a series of strategic management and problem solving. You're either a manager, and we're thinking strategically how we're going to change the organization from a top-down approach, utilizing all the resources of all the employees at all levels. But you, the top manager, strategically are the rudder, the guiding force for the organization. So it's the leadership. If this is going to happen, and how do I create a learning organization or an ethical learning organization as we're going forward? So it all is based on the leadership. So I have this kind of larger. So let's see what we have here. So definition of leadership. When I'm looking at this process of transforming organization from what they are, what you are now, to what the leader would have them become. Remember, you're top manager, you're the company owner, you're the vice president, the president of the organization. You are the heart of the organization. You are the one saying the stockholders, the shareholders, the owners, or yourself, is your own company, where do I want this organization to go? How do we change this organization? And it all depends on the leadership. The rest of the individuals will follow, but you have to be a strong leader in certain times to take the reins and direct the team going forward. But you have to have the vision, you have to have the heart, you have to have the grit, you have to have that power, the charisma to move the individuals so they follow you into the battle, for lack of a better word. Okay, you have to be proactive, dissatisfied with the status quo. Hey, we're the best. We're not the best. We're okay. We're second best. I want to be the best. We're okay. We're not growing. I want to grow. Whatever it is, or if it's the best, how do we maintain? Or we're going too fast. Let's slow down so we don't lose that status quo. Everyone does it this way. We want to be different. Goal-oriented, you have to have a mission, a goal, so people know you're going to be rewarding with them. Focus on creation, implementation of a creative vision and understanding the process. Remember, you're the leader. You're the one. If you don't know the vision, you don't know where the company's going, how your individual's going to know where it's going. Strategic leadership. Okay, now let me just turn some of these off right here, because I won't go through all of them, but you'll have most of them. Strategic leadership. Now, this is a figure, if I'm looking at here, and this basically tells you, in a nutshell, everything that you need. You have to set the direction. You design the organization through organizational behavior or through policies or whatever to create this or bring in new individuals. And now you nurture that organization just like somebody else is growing. Look at it as a tree. I planted a tree. I wanted it here for shade. But before it goes there, I designed it to make sure there's other trees so it grows. I know how large it's going to grow in the future. And I'll put a whole bunch of stuff in there. It has to have room for growth. So it has to have markets. If not, I move it to another location. And now basically I nurture it. I water it, I put fertilizer, I trim it, I keep it in path, I protect it, and this is what you have to do for the organization. So you basically are setting the direction, you're strategically telling them what the vision is, you're designing the organization to fit into that vision. If you don't design the organization, it's like going without a plan. You don't understand your responsibilities, the reward systems aren't motivating, it's inappropriate financial systems, insufficient integrating mechanism. So when you're designing your organization, what do you need on the design? Building a mechanism, building a structure, building a team, building a process design, just like you do a manufacturing, only as people hanging from one thing to the other, okay? So remember, the design is similar to it's a process flow. How does one manufacture? The assembly line goes this way. You go to a restaurant, I got to put the mustard, I got to put this on this way. And same thing with a process flow. I did a lot of process flowing in a corporate setting. How do I bring process together? What's some parts of the process doesn't make sense? Why is it here? It should belong over there in logistics. Why are we doing this? You see, academics are changing. What courses and instructors could complement each other. So when the students are in there, they get the whole picture, not just part of it, because I got to send them out to someplace else, okay? Now, how do I overcome barriers? Like it or not, when you look at barriers, leaders are the change agent. You are the one who have to have the heart. And once you, as a top management, have it, your direct reports underneath you, they better have that same passion you do, or you take them off the team. Because if they don't have the passion, it's going to flutter. People, we don't have to do it. I don't really believe this. George is on one of his change the organization thing. You have to follow. And sometimes it's because the organization, they basically put that in there, and they always have a new program every year, so people get fed up, so they'll change next year, and it reverts back to the other one. Once I change it, it's not going back unless it's a better change or something else going back forward. I do the testing and do everything else. So vested interest to the status quo. So organization, inertia, slow to learn, adapt, change because of the management. So if they're not the ones to follow them, they're out of the team. Like you got to cut them loose. It's almost like, I don't want to say like a cancer, it's negative. It's something it's like body fat. It's not cancerous, but it slows me down. I can't move. I don't have the energy. Get rid of it. You lose the weight, cut them out, and that's where your organization is. They reduce it. They have too much body fat, for lack of better words, too much redundancies of processes. You have to make it go forward. That's part of the strategic. That's part of the strategic management, the leadership. Now I finally I'm in charge. How do I change the organization so it's leaner, more flexible, able to adapt to the environment? Okay, vested interests, so people have it. Systematic barriers, behavior barriers, political barriers, and personal time constraints. Okay, now leaders. Remember, leaders you influence other people's behavior, you persuade them either by rewards or doing that, and you overcome sources of power, legitimate reward, cohesive information. Those are the basic ones that come with any kind of position. Remember, you still have, we talked in other courses, that you also have the connection, you have the political power, so reverent power. So there's other powers that you still have that are very effective. You have more of them, the more powers, the more effective you are. So when you want that changing, by the time you reach at that time as a president of the company or the owner of your organization and your company is expanding, you have more power than you have. You have the reverend, you have the reward, you have that, you have connections, you know how to give information, you have expertise powers. That's how you got to the top. You have communication powers, you have persuasion powers. That's what got you to the top. That's not utilize that to bring the organization. So people working with you develop those powers so now they can bring it down to their direct reports, to their individuals underneath the control. And finally, the whole company just shines. You can feel a company that's vibrant, that has that power. Apple has that. It's kind of because they don't know. Jobs is gone, the leadership is gone. You got Mr. Cook's in there. So will he vibrate? Maybe not. Maybe another person will come in and also regenerate that. This is what's lacking in our politics now, that vibration. We need that leader or something else in there. But be careful that you choose the right leader. You give them too much power, then basically you become subservient to them. Okay? So when I'm looking at power, so you had the power. Now let's move over. That's got off on a rage there. Okay, emotional intelligence. As a leader, I have to be emotionally stable. My direct reports have to be emotional stable. The people I bring into the organization have to be emotional stable. So if I want to learn an organization, we all have our good days, our bad days, but how could emotionally I know how to work within the environment, within the stressful environment, within the culture that I am here? That's strategically planning. I have the right people, I have the right fertilizer, I have the right individual, I have the right components, the right interaction, the right feeds to other individuals. So but that all depends not only on the leaders but on the employees. So it's like emotional intelligence. So if I'm looking at this, valuable traits of successful leaders, you need the technical. Remember, when you go from as a first line supervisor, you have to have the on hands. As a middle manager, I just have to know what the other department is doing. As a president of the organization or a larger organization, I have direct reports that are experts in that. They're the salespeople, they're the marketing individual. But I still conceptually are taking the puzzles. How does this one work with this one? Where do I want the vision of the organization? If I need more exposure, new markets, I need more marketing people. If I need more quality or more cost reduction, I need managerial accountants. I need engineers. I need quality control individuals. I need a different type of workforce. I need technology to do that. So I need the technical skills, but at a lesser level as I go higher. I need more of the conceptual skills to look at in the visionary skills, to look strategically to bring the company next 5 years, 10 years, maybe 20 years in the future. If that's, 20 years is a long shot when I was going. Now, if I can bring them in 5 years and come close enough, that's good, because the technology, things are changing, environments are changing, a lot of different forces outside that I may not be able to control, but I have to be able to manage. That's what we call risk management at strategic level. Cognitive abilities, analytical reasoning, quantitative reasoning, and critical thinking. You need that. Now, emotional intelligence, self-management. I, as a manager or at that level, or my direct reports, middle managers, or even owners of our organization, have to be self-managed. I have to be able to manage my own strengths and weaknesses, managing relationships with others. I have to be self-aware of myself and other individuals. I have to self-regulate how much information I'm giving, how much information I'm taking. I have to be self-motivated. I have to know when to slow down, which is kind of hard because I'm a very hyper person. Those who see me online, thinking of them in the classroom, I really, when I have the class and the individuals, that I build off of my virtual classroom here because I know you're out there listening and you're going, yeah, go, Dr. George, go. But in the classroom, I could feel that, and I could feel that here. I could feel that in the virtual audience, you're still looking at that. I have to have empathy. I have to be able to see how you're seeing me. I have to be able to put myself into other individuals' shoes. I said, man, I did the same thing. That's why I'm a good instructor. I failed. I did messed up. I had problems in high school. I did things in college. I made mistakes, but I made it. We all make errors. Your employees make errors. Pick up, let's get going. Strategically, the company's not going to go the right way. Everything, you got all the training. Oh, gee, something happened. We forgot that. Choke that person. No, how do we do next time we do this? We don't eliminate that. We talk about that or bring an individual in there. That's how you become a learning organization. So you failed now, you pick up and wham, on next time you're the winner. Okay, but you got to fail once in a while. You look at all the athletes; they didn't get up there to be the world athletes at the beginning. Look at Einstein; they all had so many failures. They thought they were idiots, and now look at that. They've got theories and books and everything else, and our quality of life is because of them. Okay, so now if I look at this emotional chart, it basically just tells you, as a supervisor at this level, you should be. Moodiness, self-regulation, passion to work for reasons that go beyond money or status, empathy, understanding emotionals, hallmark confidence, realistic self-assessments, strong drive. And here's a reprint from Harvard Business Review. It's not mine. But remember, when you're looking at a manager or anything strategically, what you have to do, you're not there alone, man. For goodness sake. What did this other company similar to me? How did they do it? Where did they have the pitfall? Call them and say, hey, look, we're competitors or we're not competitors, but you're going through the same process. What did you do? What did you have to look out? Could I buy you lunch? Could we come out there? Could I bring my management team? A lot of people like to talk about their successes. As long as it's not giving away competitive information, you could learn. Read about it. That's why you're going to school. That's why you're taking this lecture. That's why you're looking at searching the web. But be careful. There's a lot of information out there that people make up that doesn't make sense. Hopefully mine is more for my learning and my credibility, my that you looked at my that I have the academic plus the experience of talking about this. Okay, now successful learning organizations. If I'm looking at that to create a proactive approach to the unknown, I don't know. Let's understand it first. Actively solicit all levels of employees. What do you think? You've got other contacts. What are customers upset at? What are suppliers? You could be a shipping clerk. Why are we getting all this back? Well, you can't read the labels, or they don't, or the packaging slip is caught and they throw it away with all the foam or something else, and then we have to send them another one and they already had it, but they already shredded it. So how do I make it so it's available to them? Do I put them in an orange thing so they can pick it out? See, here's their invoice. Something as simple as that, but that helps customer satisfaction and it helps in the long run. One little thing helps the big thing. Remember, when people get upset with companies, all these little things, finally, I just had enough. Find a new organization. You as a strategic manager or leader have to get all this from information. You see it from here, they're your funnels, but you have processes that will disseminate and but actually be honest and tell you where your organization, not because it's going to hurt their department, but hey, we're messing up and we found this error, and there might be other people that they could help. Okay, enable all employees, learning environment, involve action orientated for lack. That's learning environment. Action orientation, applicable tools and methods. So you have like either some kind of process. They turn something they could feed it up to you so people could actually read it and compile it at a weekly meeting and say, here's what the number one is that people are workers at all levels are saying is an issue with the organization that we should be focusing on. Okay, learning traits, and there's a lot of them here. 5 keys. Inspiring. Okay, so let me just close them all because it basically ties all of them. I don't want to. Let me just go in here and we just go with it. Okay, inspiring and motivating people with a mission and purpose. That's your leadership. What's the vision? Simple. Not give me 50 pages. Oh my God, that's a vision. Oh my God, that's my whole anatomy. I just want one thing. Your vision is to be healthy, be strong, be prosperous, or whatever, so we could grow and for promote you or a learning organization. Real quickly, 2 words, quality. What's Walmart's? Lowest price in the world. What's Target? Better than Walmart, or whatever. I'm just making some a little higher prices, though. Empowering employees at all levels. You don't need me for every decision. We trust you. Here's your boundaries. You could do the work on that. If you need more boundaries, you want to expand the boundaries, ask for more permission. See, maybe we should expand the boundaries for everyone. Maybe we've got you we don't trust you enough, for lack of better words. You want more responsibilities. We're willing to give you more responsibilities as long as it makes sense within the process, not for a power grab. Accumulating and sharing internal knowledge. What did you learn? Even though one process worked, it could I be utilized in someplace else. It worked here, but maybe it'll work in this other department. Similar. Oh yeah, it's the same issues, because some of this may be just an issue of how paperwork's going, or communication issue. That's general across. How did I improve communication here? Gathering external information, challenging status quo. Okay, so if I'm going to go in here, leaders and managers role, you had to be a facilitator at that level, at all levels. Like at some colleges I work, they all say we're a participative manager. Some of the vice presidents I walk, I go, hi. Didn't even look at you. How the hell are you going to say to talk to the person? I know some colleges, I'll go, how you doing? So-and-so, Dr. So-and-so, hello, how you doing? Other ones, oh, hi, how you doing? Or do you have a mirage of their staff around there? It's like I've got security. I can't even break through the first thing. Walk on your own out there. Even though you're president of the company, walk in. If you're in a bathroom or something else, say hi. If someone says, hey, what do you do here? I don't know. I just come to the office and see how everyone is happy. That's what I do. I make everyone happy. I make sure the organization, that's the job I want. I'm the president of the company. Be personable. If you're on the hallway, you got a mission, then go to the mission, walk backwards, don't smile, don't look at it. But in your hallway, that's your chance to politics. Say hi. A smile, and I'll follow you only so far. But I'll follow you better, all right? So I'm just talking about the leader. Providing trust. How do you trust? People see you and you're nice to them, you know what I mean? They know you're the boss, but you don't have to remember your name. How you doing? Hey, great day, expertise at all levels. Share information. Some information you can't give it because it's competitive or the company's changing. But if you notice the changes, yes, some people are going to be laid off. We're going to have this change agent come in. We are trying to find a job for everyone. We are going to be doing some training. We're going to have an outsourcing. We may be thinking about buying out an individual. They know, but we don't know what the things are. We're looking at all aspects. We're trying to keep you. You did well. Some people want to move on. Some look at opportunities. Some want to stay. We're trying to help you all, and that's sharing information. We'll give you as we got something else. We're working with this team. Here's the committee. Give us some information. What do you think we should do as an organization? That's how you get people to relieve that tension, that stress when what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Everyone's talking. I'm out of the loop. And mostly there's only a few people are in the loop, but everyone else feels they're out of the loop. So the whole company, they're no longer focused on the job. They're all worried about their job. And now your whole company's lose down. And strategically, you have to plan for that and get the people going so they're still doing well, to still keeping the operation going while the company is changing and to a new direction. But everyone knows that external information, look at the internet, look at the trade journal, see what your competitors are doing. You're not stealing any information. It's out there. Ask your customers what you want us to do. Do never look at status quo. If I say we've always done this way, I want to say, shake the person up. You never want to go, we've done it this way. That's when you're going to be out of business, because you have to find new ways to do it. The supplier, they raise the cost. What do I do? Put more in the bag. What do I do? So, they're on a strike over there. They had an earthquake over there. They had some kind of disabling instability with the government. Where do I get in a supplier? How do I fit in this niche? They're no longer buying from me. So where do I buy from? All that is strategically, you have to look in the forward. So you can't go status quo. How do I change it? How do I prepare for the future? Most people are going to college at taking me online or face-to-face or some training workshop because they want to change the status quo. They don't have the job yet, but they want to do it. When the open is there, they know you need college, you need some kind of education, you need some kind of training, so they're getting it now so they can at least apply for it. And now they have the social skills to go in. Move the goalposts, bring in insiders within the organization. Now, this last one, creating an ethical organization. Geez, I finished everything else, now to the other thing. Because through changes, because what we're doing, strategically we're looking, if we change too much, people are going to start cheating and trying to get things done to do it. If I'm looking at here, let's look at educators, for lack of a better word. If I'm looking at education, you have the no one left behind policy or whatever. So everything is, all the schools, they get federal funding. If they meet the schools, they see improvement in student scores. Is that the way you learn? They said before they had all these improvements, before student scores, people were learning better because you're no longer teaching you to the test. You're teaching you, you're not training you like a dog or an animal or a child or something else or a pet to respond to certain stimuli. You're basically creating a critical thinking individual, a learning individual. And how do I do this? I show them processes. I show them different ways. Sometimes you get it right. Sometimes you don't get it right. When you're going strictly by test scores, and I'm not going one way or the other, you still need some testing. You still need a measurement, but if it's focused on that, you're no longer giving them the flexibility. Here's how you get the right answer. Here's the only questions you ask, and they're no longer creative thinkers. They're basically robots that are just responding to certain stimuli, a certain question, do this, do that, and those are routine decision making, but that doesn't help you going forward. So let's look about ethics. What's ethics? And ethics deals with right or wrong. Right or wrong depending on my values and everything else. Because remember, a policy, and I look at ethics, so it depends on the author. But from the strategic, what's right or wrong within this organization, strategically. I'm not looking what's outside. Strategically, you violated a policy. Here's what our policy, here's our vision, and ethically, you should follow along. A little different than when I do ethics and my own personal ethics, when I think something's right or wrong. Ethical beliefs, basically, they get it from religion, their ethnic heritage, from family practices, from community standards, education, experiences, friends. Those are the ethics values I come in. So if I'm doing something, if I think religiously, let's say if I'm open up, and I'm going through the extremes, so don't look at me. Let's see, if I'm going up for the extremes, I look at abortion. Abortion, for a lot of people, is morally unethical because of the religion and their background, and even not religion is morally unacceptable. But legally, it's allowable. By the law, it's legal. Ethically, no. So you see the difference when I'm looking at business. I have to look at what does the law state. If the law states that it's legal, and I'm a business of providing abortion within the confines, within the certain trimester, whatever it is. I'm not, get me wrong, but you understand the concept. So it's legal, and I'm providing that. But because of my moral values, and I come to the work that says, hey, you shouldn't be doing this, then you shouldn't be working for me. Like if I'm a clinic that does abortion. And then here the issue comes, some hospitals, because the abortion didn't go well at the clinic, they have to go in there, and the doctor is assigned to that hospital. Would you utilize the doctor? Remember, those are different issues. But from a business perspective, I understand these are the cultural values. But when you're here, when I'm looking right or wrong, we provide the service. If you're looking at some kind of service we provide, that may, I'm selling fur coats, and morally you say that you shouldn't be selling fur because I'm those are animal rights activists. You're going to be working for my organization, or you're going to buy from my organization. Because some people want that. Did you see what I'm talking about? So understand the ethical values of the individual. But what you're looking at, when they come in here, when you look at the code of ethics and everything else, you're basically saying, you're working here, here's the values of this company, here's the values strategically of this organization, here's the values of this organization. My values may be a little bit different at home, but when I'm working for the organization, I will follow all these values. And strategically, if I don't want to get into that, but you understand, because you may be upsetting some values, ethical values that from a religion perspective, but at the company, that's my. And that's the same thing when you're looking at John F. Kennedy, and he's a Roman Catholic. When he became president, they were afraid that the Pope would have so much influence on him that he would change the direction of the free democracy of the United States, the separation of church and state here. But he didn't. But he had his own values. But he looked at the values of, and that's what you're hoping that your leaders will look at the total value of the country. Okay. So you have that. Now compliance is basically you have that prevents and detects, punishes legal violation of companies' policies, value. You may not believe it. You may not have that strong commitment, but at work they have to do it, or they're going to punish them in that. Now, I want an individual with integrity. They believe in my cause. They believe in my mission. They defend the mission. They defend the cause of the organization. Those are the individuals that I want. I want both sides. Because that keeps both sides from going from one extreme to the other. But I want more individuals that have integrity based, that they believe in the mission and value, and that's what I'm asking through that emotional intelligence, some of the behavioral questions and assessments I ask to hiring them within the organization to make sure that they I have the right culture, the right individuals that I'm developing. Because remember, the individuals of the company are basically the representation of the organization, the culture. IBM has a certain culture. Certain colleges have certain cultures. Certain institutions. College Lake County has a different culture than Harper College. Northern Illinois University has a different culture than Chicago University or Chicago State. So, University of Illinois, the Southern University, has a different value. It used to be a party school, but now they're more down to earth. They're always down to earth, but they're more of a not so much party anymore. They're basically very core conscious, and they've changed that culture around. But it's still people may think of them differently, but they've changed that culture around. That's by bringing new instructors, new policies, new focus on the organization. We have to, they're paying for this. They should come back, and they'll come back with a quality education and still have a good time at the school, but more quality, more learning, than having more of a social aspect of it. Of the academic structure of the school. Okay, so I got the ethical roles, their values, core values, and you bring them down to the people who work in the code of conduct or credos. The norms. What's the norms of the organization? What's acceptable? This company, we are very environmental friendly. The other company, maybe we're green, we do environment, we don't go out of our way. Another company may be very social responsible, so everything they do is very social focused, where another one is social focused but not to the extreme. So remember, so here's the code of conduct, here's the values, here's the culture, and that's usually the value, the culture of the organization, of the stockholders, and now the employees. They all share in the value. So now when you look at ComEd, you look at Nicor, you look at Ameritech or whatever, you know what I mean, or any kind of utility, Motorola, Abbott. I'm just looking. They all have cultures, they all have values, but you see them, and you see them as one entity. And how do you see them as an entity? Through all the contacts you have, through their employees, the values is through the managers, through their supervisors, through customer service, through how you deal with them, and you could be able to get a good understanding of the values and the mission of that company. Okay. Or that, because it's the brand. Okay, and the reward and evaluation. If I look at reward and evaluation, if I'm rewarding something for them to follow strategically, that's how people are going to do it, like it or not. Those are the expectancy. I do something, I reward it. I give them rewards so they follow in line. Basically, I'm consistent with the words that I'm preaching. So if I'm rewarding you something, I am readily making mistakes, and I don't reward for mistakes, but I don't punish you unless you make the mistake over and over again. Now, what undermines the reward system is basically, I know you're cheating, but I'm still rewarding. Everyone in the company knows you're cheating, but the only way you're going to make those numbers is by cheating, so I'm rewarding unethical behavior indirectly, even though my policy says you have to meet these. Hey, you meet that, I don't know. And that's what you're doing with, you had this, just recently, a lot of administrators and teachers had like parties on the weekend to change grades, knowing, so that they would excel in their performance and meet the goals of no one left behind. This is, and the judge says, hey, you hurt the individuals, they didn't learn, you did, lying is okay. That's what you're basically telling them. So they've said, it's just admit to it, and I put you on probation. Don't admit to it, I put you in jail. No, everyone's doing it. I'm not going to admit to it. That's just a process. So you didn't take accountability for something that you violated. And now you're training individuals. You had to take accountability. If it's not wrong, you could be a whistleblower, or you leave that organization and go someplace else. If you're accepting it, you're basically changing the moral value. And as everyone changes the moral value, then the whole organization changes the moral value. And in this case, they knew what was going on, and it was administrative. Everything else was basically promoting and buying pizza, giving out time off, even paying them to do the massive changing. Your moral compass went down this way. Once you're caught and you're not taking responsibility, so you go from another company and you're going to say, hey, we're in this district. I don't know. You're a changer. Not saying all that, but you hurt everyone in the district because now you tarnish everyone who was working there, and it's only certain levels that were doing the tarnishing. Not the instructors necessarily, but administrators, somebody else there, but you hurt the whole strategic organization, everyone that worked for them. Bottom line, okay, policy and procedures, like it or not, if you want to change the procedures and the culture to be ethical, you have policy and procedure. If you did this wrong, here's the punishment, or here's the, for the compliance one, here's the integrity. Make sure everyone's the reward system, it's fair and equitable so people don't cheat, and you have guidelines to make sure. Okay? So you have guidelines outside, identify encouraging employees, enforcement and monitoring, and compliance with Severance Oxy Act. That's basically for accounting, because it was the middle managers and supervisors that lied, cheat, and it was the workers that suffered. So now everyone, no matter if it's small or large, had to sign yes. No matter what the accountant says, I understand that whatever goes wrong, I am responsible as a manager or supervisor for the activities that I sign off on the timesheets. I know that the employees ain't lying, and if they are, then I'm an idiot. If I didn't find out, then I will be punished for that, or reprimanded, or whatever. But otherwise, I could also have legal action, and like some of them did in the school districts. They basically, hey, it's a white-collar crime, or it's a crime with a faceless, no one gets hurt, children gets hurt, academic gets hurt, taxpayers gets hurt, everyone got hurt, which is basically stealing. You're falsifying. So when they go out, they still don't know how to read, they still don't know how to do the math. So what service? You got a diploma that's worthless. Everyone else looks at it and says it's worthless, or you're selling a product that no one wants because it's has issues with it. So remember, strategically, it starts with the top management, and that's why you are at that top management. The strategic, you're going to be in that position. How do I strategically to remove the whole organization, from the person cleaning the toilets, sweeping the floors, to the middle managers, to the person selling the product, to shipping the product, making the product, coming up with new ideas at all the different levels, all working together so we are one whole. It's my whole body is one unit, working formally, an ethical organization, a learning organization, a strategic management that's making moves, strategically moving the company in the right right way, overcoming the barriers, internal, external. Sometimes you have to cut the fat, let some individuals go, professionally. Otherwise, you're not going to move. You try to keep everyone, but sometimes you got to trim it down so the organization is more flexible, more resilient to the forces that it has to deal with, different marketing forces, internal forces, external forces, utilizing the power effectively, not to punish individuals, only when needed, but basically utilize the power, reward, expert power, all that, reverence, connections, helping people develop your own emotional intelligence skills, create individuals to develop their emotional intelligence skills, hire the right individuals, have successful training organizations, look at what good organization that went through the same process you did, what did they do, how did they set up, how did they develop the management at that level to develop other individuals, and then basically creating, after you finish all this, so that you have all new process and procedures, that you are ethical in laying off individuals and assigning new jobs and bringing individuals up, not playing games with the union or anything else, but this is just to bring the organization forward so it's a strong, vital organization with all parties, all stakeholders going forward and becoming that learning organization and successful in growing and bringing more people, helping the economy, helping individuals meet their own goals and needs, because you are a strategic leader that knows how to bring the people and everyone in one narrow focus going forward. You are the rudder of the organization, which we call strategic planning, but you have to have other individuals. If the body gets hurt, it heals itself right away, but not really itself. The mind has got programmed. It has people who knows to do it. Sometimes I need to have a doctor, somebody else to help me remember my own body, or sometimes I need somebody to help me outside to influence me, or some thing comes in here. I have to change my course of action to adapt, and that's what companies have to do. And it's all done with you, the leader, strategically. If you're not in that position now, you will be. Think about it. You are basically responsible for all the employees, that they go home safely, they go home to their families, enjoy their families, enjoy their life, and also help you achieve your goals as an organization to be the best that you are in your field. Again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki, and thank you for listening to this short overview of strategic management, creating a learning and ethical organization. Bye.